Entering last weekend, week 16, a podcast listener emailed me and asked if I could do a full slate for DFS, DraftKings DFS recommended lineup. And I said, sure. I'm not as good at full slate. There's a lot of variables. And when I come up with a full slate, especially when it involves Monday night games and Sunday night games, there's questionable players. You got to hit it right. You got to guess right on the usage of some of these guys, whether the game time decisions are going to fall one way or the other. It's a lot. I like more concentrated time universes where I say, all right, these are the 6 games at this time. I know exactly what I'm getting into, or these are the 3 games at this time. That's an easier, I know my strengths and weaknesses, I think, and my weaknesses are larger slates. I did it. I went all in on it, did the best I could. I think I finished in last place out of like 20,000 people. It was a total disaster. I could have just picked random, names and probably done 10 times better. So that's the last time I'm doing that. Today I am doing 2 slates for the later games today. 2 of the later games today, the Bills versus Eagles and the Raiders versus Giants. That is the very, very tiny universe of players to choose from. And again, it's DraftKings DFS, 50-50 lineups. You could also do this in tournament play. I'm starting out with Josh Allen. The assumption here is that he will be a full go today. I'm recording this the night before. So let's just assume he's a full go and you're going all in on Josh Allen. That last weekend was a fluke based on his foot injury and that this weekend in a must-win game, he'll be great. More or less a must-win game. All the starters are going. They're going to be fine if Josh Allen's fine. Running back. Now, there's a lot of great running backs in these 4 games. It's hard to choose just 2. But I'm going James Cook and Ashton Jeanty. And I feel pretty good about that. At wide receiver, I've got 3 number 1 receivers. One of the number ones is kind of a co-number 1. We'll see if he's still the number 1, but he's cheap. First one is A.J. Brown. Second one is the somewhat cheaper Khalil Shakir. I would say a lot cheaper, actually. A.J. Brown is $7,000 in DraftKings, and Shakir is $5,100. So it works in terms of a budget. Shakir has been a huge disappointment. Over the course of the season, he's been solid, but it's a risk here. And the risk is, well, if I believe in Josh Allen, then at some point, I think Khalil Shakir is going to have a good game, 10 plus points, maybe even more. And it could be every 4 weeks, could be every 6 weeks. But I'd rather bet on him with a healthy Josh Allen in this kind of matchup that could be very high scoring, rather than invest in someone slightly more expensive and then have to cut corners later. And you're about to see what I'm talking about. The third wide receiver is Trey Tucker. Very cheap. 3,800, I think, or 3,700. Jack Beck. The rookie second rounder is $100 less. So I'm going with Trey Tucker on that. For tight end, the $2,500 Michael Mayer. Brock Bowers is on injured reserve. I could go more expensive with someone like Dallas Goedert, or take a chance on a Bills tight end instead. I'm going with Mayer. He should get, a healthy dose of targets for a backup turned spot starting tight end. And we've seen him before. I mean, he's solid for 2,500. It's almost a no-brainer, assuming that Goddard doesn't go nuts with touchdowns again, like he's done several times this year. The flex is interesting. Now, I don't have to go Khalil Shakir. I could go more expensive, but then my flex is going to have to be cheaper. I'm saving up the funds so I can do Saquon Barkley as my flex. As some of you know, I was very down on Saquon Barkley this summer based on his way too high ADP. I was right for most of the season. 2 of the last 3 weeks I've been very wrong. He has caught fire. There's no doubt about it. He's getting hot at the right time for the Eagles and for fantasy managers. And in DFS, I'd rather roll the dice on a $7,600 Saquon Barkley than maybe up Khalil Shakir to Devontae Smith at $6,000 and then downgrade out of Barkley. I think Barkley, is a good bet for 18 plus points, and that's what I want in that flex spot. And then finally, the Raiders defense. They're the second cheapest. The Bills are the most expensive. I don't trust the Bills defense this week. Eagles are the cheapest. I don't really trust the Eagles defense. And I don't trust the Giants defense, regardless of where they are or who they're playing. So that leaves the Raiders, and that's fine with me. Now, the alternative to this slate, if you do a second lineup, is you just change out two players. You change out Josh Allen, and you insert the slightly cheaper Jalen Hurts, and then you remove Khalil Shakir, and you insert the slightly more expensive Wan'Dale Robinson. So trading out one number one wide receiver, and Shakir, he's kind of a number one in name only, but technically he is, for Wan'Dale Robinson, who's a higher ceiling number one. So those are two options. I feel very good about both. Anything can happen, but this is obviously a loaded lineup. And I think a lot of people are going to use a lot of the same players. And so it might come down to, does Trey Tucker go off? Does Michael Mayer go off? Does the Raiders defense step up? So the Raiders are the wild card in all of this because everybody else is pretty much, a great player, probably going to put up great points, and a lot of people are going to have them in their lineup. The question is going to be which $3,000, which $3,500 flyer are your opponents going to use? In this case, I think Tucker, Mayer, and the Raiders, those three Raiders defense, those three Raiders, are the best wild cards that I could come up with to make this lineup work. I'm BJ Riddell, Fantasy Football for Winners. Follow me on the blog. Email me anytime. Good luck if you've got guys playing today, whether it's DFS or in Fantasy League. See you tomorrow.